Another thing, how gardening is a lot like being an executive assistant, because I will plan my garden, everything. I'm like, plan where everything's going, all good. And then what happens? We get a shit ton of rain. Or rabbits decide to burrow in my carrots because they got through my garden fence. So I come out here and I have to chase them out of the garden. Okay, there's things like that. And that just, reminds me that as an assistant, it really doesn't matter how much you plan. Like, you can plan and plan and plan and something's still gonna go wrong. But that's okay. At least if you are, at least if you think of what could possibly happen. Like, I know that weeds can happen. So I know I have to come down here and make sure I'm picking all the weeds so that they don't overtake all of my plants and take all their nutrients and all that. Pulling weeds in the garden, like I'll have everything pulled, it looks great, and then what do you know, the next day they pop up and I'm like, did I even do anything? And that's kind of like the to-do list of being an executive assistant. It's like, you think you got everything figured out, you got things planned. You're planting, like I had a beautiful tomato right there, and you know what happened? It didn't grow, it died, which is expected with gardening. But what I did, I didn't get another tomato plant to replace it. I forgot, and now it's too late in the season. So what I did, I planted radishes in that spot. Even though I haven't had radishes in forever, I'm just gonna try it, see if I like it. Why not? I'm growing it for free. I mean, I could go to the store and spend just a couple dollars, but it's better to, try and grow it on my own. That's another thing with being an executive assistant and gardening. You have to have a plan B. So I'm like, you know what? I had an open spot for where that tomato plant was going to be, and I was like, okay, I got to use up the space in my garden. You can't let an empty spot in your garden. You might as well grow something or try and grow it. So I threw some radishes down there. Why not? Now, this is one issue that I have right here that I currently have to deal with is my broccoli leaves are huge and my celery is getting huge and it's covering up, what is that? Little onions. So now what I have to do is I have to troubleshoot. I have to say, okay, what can I do here to make sure there's sunlight for the onions? And honestly, that is the kind of stuff that you deal with as an executive assistant. You're always troubleshooting. You're always pivoting. Like look over here, my lettuce bolting because it's been so freaking hot and we've had a ton of rain. So you have to pivot. You have to learn that plan A is typically not always going to go the way that you want. Things are going to pop up that you did not expect. You have to just remember that something can always go wrong, and so that you always have to think ahead. What could go wrong here? So like if there was a windstorm, I have supports. I have supports for my tomato plants so that I don't have to worry about them toppling over, which they have done before. If you are an executive assistant or you want to be an executive assistant and you're like, how can I do this in my daily life? How would I relate this in my daily life? Well, just think of it as gardening. The things that you do in your garden, the things that happen in your garden, that is all the kind of skills that you need to be an executive assistant, because you need to know how to plan ahead. You need to know how to be organized. You need to know how to troubleshoot if something isn't working. And you need to know that you have to have a plan B, C, D. You never know. You can't control the weather. You can't control anything. You can't control pests in your garden. Like, look at this. Look at this. I got some holes in here. My broccoli, because there's bugs. So then I had to Google it, like I would do in my job as an executive assistant. I Googled what is a natural pest deterrent I can do. So I found myself some diatomaceous earth. I had no idea what that was or even how to pronounce it. But now I learned something new because I did the exact same thing that I would do in my job as an executive assistant. I Googled it. I researched. Another way that gardening is like being an executive assistant is companion planting. So as you can see here, I have my tomatoes, onions, more tomatoes, carrots, jalapenos, some parsley over there. What else do I got over here? I got some basil, but that's all in one bed. Oh, and radishes. And the reason I do that is because they complement each other. They work well with each other. They take the same nutrients. They like each other. And it's kind of like how you have to be organized in your role as an executive assistant. You have to be organized. Whatever way organized is to you, even if it's organized chaos, you have to have some systems in place. You have to know what the plants like and dislike, because if you put two plants next to each other that don't work well together, well, your crop is going to suck. And if you're an executive assistant, if you don't know about your executives, you're not going to be able to do your job very well. So you need to know about your executives, their priorities, their goals, what they like for calendar management, travel planning. That also reminds me, you also need to know the politics of the office, the who doesn't get along with each other in the office, maybe who your executive likes or doesn't like. All of this stuff can come in so handy just for meeting management. If you are planning travel with your executives, maybe you know that their social battery goes out after an hour or two, so you know to swoop in and say, oh, hey, you have a call, when really they can just go back to their room and recharge their battery.